Welcome back to Meet and Greet, my friends. Welcome back. Today we have a special video. As always, another installment of Old Frisbee goes out, buys a little meat, brings it back to the outdoor kitchen, if I may add now, and we chop it up, slice and dice it, throw it on the pit, and I bring you guys along through the whole thing. I got a big tailgate coming up in a couple weeks, and I figure there's nothing better to prep than some party ribs. So today, I'm doing a little practicing, making sure that I understand the recipe, making sure that I even like them, because frankly, guys, I've never done a party rib. And like I said, we are cooking a Chipotle honey glazed party rib. Yes, a party rib. What's a party rib? Well, in the interwebs, it's seemingly the party ribs got very popular. They kind of blew up, a lot of videos. So I figure not only would I hop on the bandwagon, but I'll put the little meet and greet touch, put a little spin on it, do my rendition, bring you guys along through the whole way. We'll eat it at the end and I'll tell you exactly what I think about it. I'm stoked. Enough talking. Let's just get started. The plan for today is I'm going to slice these party ribs in individual bitelings. Add that to the Frisbee book of words that are non-existent. I'm going to slice them into little bitelings. We're going to season them up. We'll get them on the pit. Because they're in individual bitelings, they don't need as long to cook on the pit. So what I'll do is get them on, run them for about 2 hours. I want to get the color that I'm looking for. If you've seen the channel before, you know I have a weird obsession with a nice, dark, deep, rich mahogany. Once we get that nice, dark, deep, rich mahogany, we'll then move these party ribs into a foil pan. Now, I'm going to lay in a nice, rich, sweet combination of brown sugar, butter, and a little bit of that Chipotle honey that I'm looking for. I'm going to use some of my brother Heath Riles. Heath and Malcolm, about the only two people I'm using outside of old meet and greet. Until I get my own pork rub, I'm rolling with Heath on his beautiful honey Chipotle rub. This is going to give me the flavor I want. It's going to give me the color I want. And then, like I said, once it's in that pan, I'm going to lay in a little something special on the side that I love to get kind of that sweet, saucy, glazy, shiny thing that we're looking for. This cook should take no longer than about 3.5, maybe 4 hours when it's all said and done. Let's jump into it. I got a beautiful slab of baby back ribs. Now, what I did with these baby backs is I pulled the membrane off, and I'm just going around and I'm making sure that I take off any loose or extra meat slash fat. This would be considered extra meat. We don't need it. I'm not going to go too deep. Just going to make sure I take it and move it to the side. Now, if you've never cooked baby backs before, just know a good bite of a baby back, there's nothing like it. You get full meat coverage, bone to bone. It's a little leaner than a spare rib that you get typically from Central Texas. But here in Missouri, we love a good St. Louis baby back. So I'm just going to start and cut these up. I'm going to sacrifice just a couple of these ribs on the end. A good baby back's going to start wider and it's going to taper down. I don't really want kind of these last two, so I'm just going to lose those, and that's okay. I'll still throw them on the pit, but I'm just not really going to feed that right there. Again, it's okay. Now that I took off the end and I have the exact amount of party ribs that I want, I'm going to lay some of this Heath Ryle, some of that honey Chipotle rub on top. I'm going to hit the top, I'm going to hit the bottom, then we'll slice them, then I'll hit the sides. It's just a little bit of an easier way. That way I'm not putting a bunch of rub inside a bowl and rubbing everything around and knocking them back and forth. This is just a clean coating. I get exactly what I want on either side, so check it out. This is such a beautiful rub, guys. Dang, I can smell it from here. Pat it in, and then just lift it. Look at how pretty that is. We'll hit that bottom side, and then we're almost done. Same deal. Heavy-handed. I'm just going in right in between each bone. This is going to make for such a good bite. 360 bark, 360 rub, 360 sauce. Look at that, guys. How do you say no to that? That's going to render, that's going to plump up, that's going to be an unbelievable bite. Now that the top and the bottom is seasoned just how we wanted, I got these ribs turned on their side, as you can see, and I'm just gonna take this rub and I'm gonna go over the tops of one side, flip them, repeat, and they're totally done, perfectly seasoned. Again, guys, I'm just reiterating, I'm still heavy-handed. I'm still getting all the rub that I want. Heath blended this rub incredibly well. It's very balanced. It's not too salty, not too sweet. It's got just the kick that you want. And I'm just gonna pat it in. And I'm just gonna, I know I keep harping on how beautiful this rub is, but I just want to show you guys in real time. No cuts, no edits. Just dump that rub on top and look how fast it tacked up and absorbed on top of that meat, guys. On a good pork rub, you want that thing to stick on there, tack itself up, absorb right onto the surface of that meat, and that's what we're after right here. Party ribs are perfectly rubbed down. We got exactly the amount of flavor that we're looking for. Now, the play is simple. We're gonna get them on the pit. I'm just using my backyard pit. I didn't roll the 500 out today, guys. I didn't use the 500 gallon. Again, I got the backyard smoker, got some B&B lump charcoal in the chimney, ready to dump. I'll take you guys over to the pit. I'll get these bad boys set on there, and then it'll be time to roll some post oak. See you guys in a second. We got our batch of party ribs nice and seasoned up. This was the first slab that was rubbed down. You can just see how sticky and tacky it got. We love that. I just rubbed this second batch down and they're almost there, but we'll still get them on. So when I get these on, guys, all I'm gonna do, it's pretty simple, but I'm just gonna face the meat side towards my firebox. I want that meat side to get most of the heat right off the bat. And then what I'll do is about halfway in, I'll flip them. But for now, I'm just gonna line them just like that. Meat side towards the fire. Now that the smoker's fully loaded with our party ribs, we're gonna close the door down and I'm just gonna let them hang out in there for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I'm running my pit at about 250, inching my way up to about 275. Anywhere between 250 to 275 on your pit's gonna be perfect. We're gonna run at that temperature for about 2 hours and then we're gonna get them inside of a pan, sauce them up. But I'll show you guys when it's time to do that. See you guys in a little bit. Ribs have been on for about 3.5 hours. I'm about to show you guys what we're working with, but real quick, I'm just gonna add this disclaimer or caveat. I have been so poorly managing this fire, meaning I went off and cooked some lunch and then I filmed like a 40-minute YouTube live on the channel and I've just been all over the place. Really, it should have taken about 2 hours or so at a smooth 250 or 275, a consistent 250 to 275, and I would have got the color and kind of the fat render that I was looking for about an hour, hour and a half sooner, but it's okay. Nonetheless, ribs are in the smoker. Let's check them out. Here's what we're working with. As you can see, those bad boys have plumped up. Look at that nice bite of meat that you're gonna get right on top. They're looking good. I did shift them around just a little bit. If you remember, I had the meat side facing the firebox, and then all I did was just kind of shift them just to make it cleaner, more compact, as far away from the fire as I could get them. Now that I got the color that I want, the bark that I want, now it's time to get these bad boys into a foil pan. I'll show you the exact concoction that I'm gonna put together to give these guys just that perfect bite, sweet, heat, little bit of that chipotle kick on the back end. I'll see you guys over there once we get them in the pan. Party ribs are off the smoker and they're looking magnificent. If you can see, it's been about 4.5 hours or so, a little longer than I expected, but that's okay. We got the color, nice red, deep, dark mahogany, and they're definitely not done. If I were to temp these out, maybe 165, 170, 180 in that guy. I'll get another one. 165. So they're all over the place, and that's okay. Once you get them pulled, all you want to do now is put them in a foil pan, and we're going to assemble our delicious concoction. The concoction is very simple. It's kind of like a competition rib that we've probably all cooked with a bunch of brown sugar and honey and butter and all the goodness. But essentially what I'll do is I'm going to take each individual party rib and I'm going to lay the meat side down to the best of my ability in this foil. And then once they're all meat side down, I'm just going to take little bits and pieces of everything I just mentioned, and toss it on top, wrap them back in foil, and then guys, all we're gonna do is get it back on the smoker for another 20, 30, 40 minutes. I don't know, we're not certain, just until they are bite apart tender. And I don't know if that is a unit of measurement, but we will use it today. All the ribs are meat side down to the best of our ability. They're meat side down. And the reason why we're doing that is because as the butter and the intermuscular fat and the brown sugar and the little touch of Blues Hogs that I'll talk about in a second, as all that renders down and starts to heat up, we want the meat side down inside of all of that barbecue goodness. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try your best to get it that way. Just like you would in foil. If you were wrapping a whole slab of ribs in foil, you'd stick a meat side down. Just like so. Right over the top. And I will add this caveat. It is very easy to overdo all of the brown sugar in the butter and the honey. Don't do that. Less is more, in my personal opinion. You just want enough to leave a nice, sweet, shiny glaze at the bottom of this. Just enough to make the taste buds jump ever so slightly. This is a half a stick of butter. 4 tablespoons. I'm not cutting it up. It's going to melt down anyways. So I'm just going to drop it right on top. And then I'm going to go over the top with my honey, and then I'll show you how I finish this concoction off. Honey just like that. And then the star of the show. We had the Heath Riles Chipotle Honey Rib Rub, or rub in general. We dusted our ribs with that in the beginning, as you remember. Now I'm going to go over the top with Blues Hogs Raspberry Chipotle Barbecue Sauce. This is, again, in my personal opinion, this is one of the best barbecue sauces on the market, and it's just going to give the ribs everything we're looking for. Again, remember, this is going to melt down into the bottom of this pan. You don't need to go crazy, but just enough, just like that. Now that your party ribs are wrapped in foil, the only step now is to finish them off and let them render ever so slightly in the delicious concoction we just put together. You can do this a few ways. Doesn't have to be rocket science. It could be very easy. If you wanted to, now that these are wrapped in foil, you could finish these in the oven, somewhere in the wheelhouse of 250 to 275, the same temp you've been cooking at this whole time. Of course, you could finish these on the smoking apparatus that you are already using, or like me, I'm going to use a pellet smoker, stick them in there, running this at 285 and plus or minus 10 degrees. I'll let you guys know once they're perfectly tender, and then I'll show you how I finish them. Very easy process to finish them, but it gives them just that nice little shine, that sheen that you're looking for. We'll finish them, and then we'll eat them, and then everything, all of life will be better at that point. See you guys in a second. The time has come, my friends. It is time to pull these party ribs off our pit, take them out of the foil. Before we do that, I want to add something. As a recap, I put these on my Oklahoma Joe, seasoned with my Heath Riles Honey Chipotle Rub, as well as finish them off in the pan with the Blues Hogs Raspberry Chipotle Barbecue Sauce. This is a dynamic duo. Now, once these got tender inside of the pan, about 3-ish hours on my Oklahoma Joe, then once I got the color that I was looking for, I got the bark that I was looking for, we dropped them in the foil, put them in the Traeger for about 45 minutes to an hour to get them probe tender. Somewhere between 205 to 206, 7, somewhere in there is just right. Then here's what I did, and here's the catch. I put these in my refrigerator overnight. The reason that I cooked these is because I'm testing these out for a big event that I have coming up. And on the day of that event, I won't be able to barbecue the day of. So I wanted to figure out how these held overnight. I figured I'd film this video because that might help you out. It might help you out to know that you can cook these a day in advance, stick them in your refrigerator, and just simply warm them up the next day. So that's what I did. I stuck these on the Traeger at about 290 degrees, and I just let them roll for 30 minutes to let them come up to temp. Remember, these were meat side down, and what we have is a pool of just honey, chipotle, raspberry, smoky, sweet goodness. Look at those, guys. Let's just flip one of these over and take a peek. That is unbelievable. All of these have that color on them. Every last one of them have that color that we're looking for. Now, if you wanted to, you could flip these over lay them meat side up, just the opposite. And meat side up in this pan, put them back in a smoker for 10 or 15 minutes just to tack them up. However, with ribs that have been cooking meat side down like this, there is no need at all. Enough talking. Let's eat one of these and see what these are talking about. Because I love you, I'm going to risk every delicate taste bud on top of my palate to eat this scorching hot party rib. Oh my goodness, this looks beyond good. Oh, oh yeah. Right off the bone. Man, that's so good. Oh, there it is. There it is, knocking at the door. There's that Chipotle heat. I can taste it on the back. I just can't do one of these videos without taking another bite. Let me take one more bite. I'm gonna ask you guys for 3 things, and then we're gonna sign off meet and greet style. Oh, okay. Okay. 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Do that. I've never done a party rib. Here's what I like about it. Here's why you should do it. This is what we call in the Midwest a bone gnawer. A gnawer, that's a word, meaning you just gnaw on this bad boy. There's nothing like getting just a clean baby back rib with bite through tender pork that you just right off the bone. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna forever cook ribs this way, but I'll promise you this. If I'm throwing a shindig, I'm at a tailgate, I'm throwing a little birthday party, I got something going on and I just wanna serve a big batch of just beautiful ribs that kids can eat, that old people with no teeth can eat because it's so tender, then yeah, I'm gonna pull these out of the old repertoire. I'm gonna throw these down, and I wouldn't do this any other way. Guys, I can't thank you enough for continuing to show up to just another episode of Old Frisbee and his lovely wife just smoking meats in the Midwest, bringing you just the content that we all love and enjoy. Thank you for showing up. 3 things. Please like, comment, subscribe in no particular order. Maybe subscribe first. I don't know. I'm not too good to beg, but I'll beg you guys. It really supports my channel. Love all you guys to death. Do a party rib. Drop down in the comments. Tell me how you liked it. As always, guys, meet and greet. Big Frizz. Over and out. This is delicious.